Hello.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar we have today, where we will be discussing how to use an EMS to analyze your energy consumption, to demonstrate savings, and at the end to improve the efficiency of your buildings. So let's start with that.
Let's go.
Here, I am Alfonso, Product Director in Spacewell Energy. With me, Jordi.
I'm Jordi Garcia. I'm product manager of the analytics part in Spacewell Energy.
And yeah, we will start by trying to explain you why you need an EMS, and after that, we will continue on doing a demo on the functionalities we have to help you to achieve your results. So, why you need an energy management system? You've probably heard tons of times about sustainability, about ESG, about the carbon reduction targets, carbon neutrality in 2050, but also the 55% reduction for 2030. So it seems far, but it is really close. Okay, so it is really important that we start today to manage all these emissions, all this carbon reduction today, if we want to achieve those targets. And in this sustainability and ESG framework, ESG, for you to know, it is environmental, social, and governance. The EMS, the energy management system, as Spacewell Energy, focuses on the energy reduction, focuses in the E, the environmental part, but specifically on helping you to reduce consumption and to reduce the emissions. So it is about being compliant with the carbon footprint targets and to achieve the maximum reduction possible beyond the normative. It is not only because we are forced to do some things, it's because we want to really reduce to the minimum this carbon emissions. And that's where an energy management system like Spacewell Energy can help you to succeed. Okay. Why you need an energy management system to save energy? Because saving energy is not an event. It's not about installing new equipment and forget. When you install this new chiller, for instance, that this just is the beginning of a process. You don't have savings just by installing this device. You have to ensure this new device, this new chiller, or whatever energy performance measure you install really provides savings, really generates savings. Okay? So energy saving is not an event, it is a process. And when we plan our energy efficiency journey, um, if we do it, let's say in a yearly basis, for instance, I will plan some improvements at the beginning of the year, I will execute them, and after a year, I will check, and then maybe I have succeed or maybe I don't. But remember that the doing in energy saving is not about installing a hardware. It is about making a process to really achieve those savings. So if we look at that do part, we can check it more frequently. So rather than doing and checking the measures a year basis, I can do it, for instance, monthly. So every month I will continue checking the savings, planning, acting, and doing. And what if I can do it even more frequently, like in a daily basis? So the more the detail I have, the more opportunities I will have to really ensure the savings are there. And that's the key, because at the end of the year, I want to be really sure that the savings are there, have been a successful energy project. Okay? So Energy saving is about continuously validating that these savings exist, that they are real, and protecting them. Okay, if I just install the chiller, the first day I see that the power has been reduced, but then I leave it alone without checking that it is consistently creating or supposing savings to my project, then I can end up the year and have a bad surprise. Okay, so we have to protect those savings in real time, and for doing so, we need tools that help us to monitor, to aggregate all our building information, and to analyze and to keep track of these consumptions and savings. Okay, so from all the solutions and services we have today, we will focus on the first two of this list, that is specifically the energy analytics functionalities and the dashboarding. And this will allow you to really analyze how your buildings are performing, how your consumption are performing, and also to place this information in a customized way for you to share with your partner, with your users, with your customers also. Okay. So this is the end of the PowerPoint, let's say. So we will start with a live demo where we will show you these functionalities in detail.
Okay, so thank you, Alfonso, for the introduction. We are analyzing a portfolio of buildings, so we have several buildings across the globe in our account, also divided by the type of usage of the building. And today we're going to center focus into an office building that we have located in Barcelona. It's a building where there are several offices with different tenants, and we will zoom in and see what's going on with this building. Okay, and for that we will use our analysis by parameter page. It's a new page that we published recently. Some users may not have access to it yet, but it's going to be available for everybody very, very soon. So here we have the possibility of analyzing data for a given parameter. In this case, we have active energy, electricity. We have several devices in our account that provide us data. We assume here that there's been a previous configuration of the EMS. Mm-hmm. So we have meters located in the building, the main meter. We also have submetering in place. All those meters send the data to the platform. The platform processes these meter readings and calculates all the consumptions for different frequencies or resolutions. And after all of that, we can analyze the data. So bear in mind, there's been a previous process of configuring the account, but here we already have done that. So we can select one device. In this case, this building has high emissions, so we're going to focus on that and see what's going on. I can analyze data for this specific device. I can choose different periods. See this last 28 days. I can see a whole year of data. There's a lot of flexibility here with the data we select. We can have rolling periods, which means every time I enter, the period gets updated with every day that passes or every month. So if I select last 12 months, it's always going to be the last 12 months, but I can also zoom in and select specific dates to start and finish my analysis, and also I can zoom in on that. Okay. For the purposes of the demo, we're going to focus on the last 7 days. We can change resolutions. So we've got hourly data. We can select also daily data, 30 minutes data. So if the data is there, we can select different resolutions. And we can decide to compare the data with the previous period. In this case, I select the previous period is going to be the previous 7 days ahead, not ahead, but before, aligned by day of the week. So the 20th of November, I am comparing to the day of the week, the previous day of the week. Okay. And we see there's slight differences. So we could zoom in and see exactly what happened on that specific date, why the consumption was higher the previous week. So we get insights just by looking at the data already. Um, we've got several visualizations that we can enable here, such as a heat map, for instance. Um, and I can see what's depending on the resolution, we will get access to different data. And with a heat map, I can clearly see where the highest consumption are or when the consumptions are lower. Okay, or I can access to statistics. So I can see for each hour of the day what's the average consumption for the last 7 days, what's the standard deviation of those consumptions, the median, maximum, minimum. So it gives you a lot of insight on that and see if we have outliers.
So here we are saying how we are seeing, sorry, how building, how this tenant in particular, or common zones in this case, is evolving along the time, but in average. So it is giving us information of how it usually performs in this case. So really powerful information for you to have a better understanding on how your building usually performs.
That's correct. And now if we go back to the line view, we can select other devices to compare. So we have several offices here. I will select several offices and remove the common zones. So we compare different offices between them and we see we have some peaks. So here we could go and analyze exactly what was going on at that particular time for this office. Um, and then I can use different types of visualizations to compare that data. We can have areas, we can have columns, and then we can see different consumptions represented. We could have stacked areas, so all the different consumptions overlap and stack. I can select stacked columns. There's different types of visualization that we can have. We also have aggregated columns, so we see the total for the period that we have selected. But if we have different consumptions, we can see it on the table as well. But maybe we want to normalize this data. As we're seeing different offices, the surface might not be the same. We can normalize this by square meter, by square feet, if needed. And here we have the consumption normalized by square meter. In this case, we also have a data availability KPI for each of the series we selected. So we can see there's some data missing. We could go and see if there's a problem with meters. So we get a lot of information just by presenting the data. Okay. But what if we want to go further than that? Well, we can download the data to an email as an image or as an Excel file. But if we want to delve deeper and see more data, we can do so. This is just an analysis by parameter, but if we want to open this as an analysis, we can do that. Then this expands, and now we can add other types of data to our analysis. So now if I go to the line view again and then remove, let's say, these three devices, I go back to focusing on one specific office. I can add more data for a different parameter, let's say degree days, and see if we have that information. I'm going to select heating degree days here for Barcelona, and we need to change the resolution as degree days have a daily resolution. And now we see the both data series in the same chart. Okay, we could see if there's a correlation between the two of them. Change my chart to a scatter plot. I see there's not a great deal of correlation. Maybe if we add more data, it might change, but it looks like there's not a great deal of correlation. We see the R square here is very low, but it's analysis that we can do. Okay. Um, we can change the title of our analysis, say scatter plot. We can change the units. We have a very tiny unit here. Maybe we want to change it to watt hours, or if we want to change it to oil equivalent tons or BTUs. There's a great deal of units that we can change. And here we could save this Barcelona analysis, and we save this, and then we have this analysis saved for the future, and I can retrieve it. If I save it now, and I go then to my analysis list and refresh, we will see that we have the analysis that we just created is listed here. Barcelona analysis, I can favorite, select it as a favorite, and for later use. But it doesn't stop here. If I want to, can add this to a dashboard. Okay, I will add it to a dashboard that we previously created, and then I can navigate to that dashboard and see the data that I have added. As I already configured this dashboard previously, we have different types of KPIs and charts with different information, such as main load of the building with HVAC, water consumption, gas, energy, distribution by level, by zone, ground, different floors on the building. And the chart that we just created is also here. So any analysis that we create, we can then send to a dashboard, and then the dashboard can be customized. We can change the layout of the dashboard as we want, and make it fit the narrative that we want to construct for our customers. Okay.
You can see how quickly, how fast it's been to really create an analysis, to start from a very simple one, from there go towards a more complex, or at least complex, or more useful for you, for your purpose. And then how easy it is also to place this analysis on a dashboard to be shared with customers or with your colleagues. So really powerful and flexible functionality to help you on analyzing your consumption.
Yeah, I can share this dashboard with a group of energy managers, view mode, or they can even, I can grant them access to edit. So if I want to collaborate with my colleagues, I can do so. Or even I can generate a link so that this dashboard is accessible from outside the platform. We have customers that do not use the EMS, they're not power users, and just need to access the information. You can generate links and send it via email, via instant messaging applications, and it's accessible with the click of a button. And this gets updated if new data is fed to the platform. So really, it's very easy to use and
really convenient and easy to share at the end, because it is also important the ability you have to share your how well you're doing your job on saving energy, right? So that sharing capabilities are also key for analytics and dashboards.
Yeah. And all the widgets are interactive, so you can zoom in and see exactly what's going on. You can add any information that you have on the platform, any KPIs that you want to monitor. And we have several examples of dashboards that we want to share with you in just a minute. But before that, I'd like to go back to the analysis, because there's other types of analysis that we can do. So now if we remove the information that we had earlier, we have different types of data blocks that we can add. We're going to navigate to a different building now. We have our headquarters building located in Barcelona as well. And here we will check our baseline consumption. We already created a baseline. We calculated our baseline consumption using our measure and verification module. And we adapt the configuration for the particular analysis, and then we can see in blue our baseline consumption, and we can see in green, in this case, building consumption, and we see we are generating savings compared to our baseline, which is good.
We will talk more about this key part of measuring, savings measuring and verification, and also about ISO 50001 in a coming webinar. So let's be be aware of that. But yeah, what we are showing now is the ability to really cross, as Jordi was explaining, data coming from the measuring and verification module with all the data, like could be the due days or the variables explaining the baseline. So analytics is about having all the flexibility you need to cross different data in a single analysis to go deep in your analysis and find the consistencies, the anomalies, the inefficiencies you are looking for. Okay.
That's correct, and there's different, as I mentioned earlier, different types of charts we can generate. We've seen measure and verification data that allows us to comply with IPMPP protocols, follow them. We've also got the possibility of checking the demand of our building. We select the main load and change to the correct resolution and period, let's say the last 28 days in hourly resolution. Then we can see the contracted load in blue, again, it's the same code, color code as earlier. And if we zoom in, we see there's periods where the contracted load is too high. So we can analyze that, see if we can reduce that consumption, or maybe we need to tweak the contracted load to generate savings in the future. So it's another tool that we have at our disposal. And since this location has a PV plant, a photovoltaic plant, we can also track production, import, export of consumptions and production to the grid as easily as that. So we can see
And
the
this
different energy flows within the platform.
this PV plan is in fact the one that is generating the savings we previously saw. So at the end, it is about being sure that whatever invest you do, you need a return on those investments, and that return is created through the savings. That's why we have to check them to protect those savings.
That's correct. And as we mentioned earlier, anything we can do in the analytics screen can be sent to a dashboard. And if we refresh the previous dashboard, we will see that the new widget has been added at the bottom. We can change the size, resize it, etc. Okay, and that's it from the well. There's a lot more we'd like to show you, but the time is bound. But we have already examples of dashboards that we can generate. So in this case, going back to our portfolio, to our office building, we can see different offices in the same chart, so we can benchmark the different charts.
These are all the tenants of that building, so we can have that information so to compare the tenants or to report on specifically the total consumption in that table also. So a lot of different visualizations for you to get the information you need.
Yeah, as we have a table with the different consumption of the tenants. We've got the cost calculation of where as well for the electricity, the input from the grid, and it's compared. We know the savings compared to the previous month. We have the consumption per floor here. In different charts, we also pie chart. We again the baseline. We also have CO2 emissions that we can calculate on the platform. Now that Alfonso mentioned earlier, ESG is key now. Customers are not only demanding to track consumption, but also prevent carbon emissions. We can track the savings in carbon emissions as well here. And again, grid, import export for the PV plant, contracted loads. If we want a focus more on measure and verification, we can also do that with building decarbonization and kilowatt hours per square meter consumption. It looks like the data refreshed. So this is real-time fed. So if new data is inserted in the platform, data is refreshed, and we see the new data available. We've got all the KPIs here for the savings generated, again, the CO2 emissions, baseline consumption, different visualization of the baseline. We've got electricity versus degree days here. It's a different area, and here we see that for the common zones, it looks like there's a correlation with degree days. We've got the KPIs for the solar power plant, self-consumption ratio, self-sufficiency ratio, and again, the microgrid balance. And if we have a simpler installation, we can also track that. We have an example here of a university campus that only has main metering for active energy, water, and thermal energy, and we have that as well. We can see that as well.
And something that we passed quickly from that, let's say, settings part of the process, of course. But you have to understand also that these dashboards and the analysis also relate to once we create them for a single location, they can be also reused along the portfolio. So once I have this dashboard, I can use it for other locations. I can share it. And also something that is important is that I can create as many as I want for different purposes, for different personas. We can create a dashboard for the maintenance people, or for the energy managers, or the sustainability managers more focused on the emissions, or for the CFO more focused on the cost and on the overall of the portfolio. So really customizable, really powerful, flexible for you to create your own story, and specifically for what we mentioned at the beginning, that is ensuring that you can find the initiatives, the inefficiencies, do and ensure the savings are there, and report them in real time, so that you can be sure that at the end of the year, that that energy efficiency project will be a success. And the savings will be there for you to enjoy and to have your return on your investments. That at the end is also super important, and the reduction of emissions, that is key for you, for your targets, and for the planet also. So yeah, that's where these functionalities can really help you on achieving your objectives.
That's correct. Well, I think we've been around everything we wanted to show you in this.
Where's the person today? Here. So that's it for today. Keep online, let's say, because we have, as I mentioned, future webinar related to measuring and verification, savings measuring and verification. That is, as we mentioned, super key, and related to the ISO 50001 also. So thank you for your attention, and that's everything for today. And we hope you enjoy these functionalities we have shared today.
Yeah, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to drop them in the chat. We'll try and reply them via email as soon as possible. And yeah, thank you for joining in, and see you next time.
See you in the next one. Bye bye.